I strongly support the Law Enforcement Innovate to De-Escalate Act, legislation which I am proud to co-sponsor. This bipartisan legislation will make much-needed updates to federal gun laws, updates which ensure that Congress, not the ATF, is determining the intent with respect to federal firearms laws and making important less-than-lethal threat mitigation tools available for all law enforcement officers. Currently, the ATF inhibits law enforcement access to certain less-than-lethal devices, such as tasers, by classifying many of these devices under federal firearms law, such as the Gun Control Act. Tasers are classified this way even though this technology did not exist when Congress passed the Gun Control Act, and even though Congress never intended to regulate this technology as a firearm. There are a variety of less-than-lethal tasers being developed which will protect police officers and end violent encounters without the risk of death or serious bodily injury. However, law enforcement across the country struggles to obtain access to this life-saving de-escalation technology because of the costs, compliance challenges, and delays which stem from these tasers being classified under federal gun laws. As the lone representative for Wyoming, I have seen the challenges that our smaller law enforcement agencies can have complying with federal regulations to access equipment and funds. As the chair of the Subcommittee on Indian and Insular Affairs, I have also heard concern from tribal law enforcement entities about how the ATF classification of these less-than-lethal technologies under federal gun laws creates numerous jurisdictional questions to prevent tribal law enforcement officers from accessing these threat mitigation tools. This is a good, common-sense bill, and I commend Mr. Stanton and Mr. Fitzgerald for their bipartisan work in developing this legislation, which will go a long way to protect police officers and help safeguard our communities. Just very quickly, one other point. The ATF is notorious for attempting to classify things that are as firearms, which are not firearms, and misclassify things in order to control them and limit our access to them. I think that this is another example of that, these less than lethal force mechanisms